Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to Modern Mining. I just got back from buying an insane GPU deal. This is a Zotac 4090 GPU that I got for $1,300. Haven't confirmed if it works yet, so let's do that first step. But then we're gonna go over my farm, talk about why I'm still buying AI cards. I bought a ton in the last 2 to 3 months, but I still think they're great investments, and I wanna break down how I'm finding the deals and why I think it's such a good investment even now. And then we're gonna go ahead and get this thing set up. So after a quick word from our sponsor, let's get into it.
Today's video is sponsored by Crypto Miner Bros, a reliable and highly trusted ASIC miner reseller. There are a couple huge benefits to buying from Crypto Miner Bros. The first is that the price on their website is the all-in price shipped to your door, no hidden fees. The second is that they have a massive selection of all the popular miners. My current favorite miner is the DG Home 1, which I got from Crypto Miner Bros. Don't forget to use code MODERN for $70 off each item regardless of price. Purchasing ASIC miners can be risky with tons of scams going around. Why not make it easy with Crypto Miner Bros? Check them out today with the link down below.
Here it is. I've never really been a fan of Zotac, but I really like that. It's kind of golden fans right there. Those look insanely good. So I did just go ahead and pick this up. I drove about an hour and a half both ways, so it was a 3-hour time investment. But for $1,300 for 4090, that is a great deal. And as you can tell, this thing is clean, very clean. I've also got a couple extra parts here. We've got an 80 plus gold 1000 watt PSU and an additional 64 gigs of RAM here. Let's talk about the plan on getting this installed. We're gonna do that first because I'm eager to make sure it works. I did have him send a very detailed video of it working. I'm not concerned about this one at all. So this spot up here is really pissing me off. I want this to be fully filled with GPUs. We'll have 9 up there, and so that's where we're gonna put it. We'll have a 4090 there, 4090 there, 4090 there, and then eventually maybe a 4090 there, and then we'll have a nice cross of 3090s. So that's where we're gonna put it, but I didn't wanna buy like another motherboard and some of the other, in a CPU, some of the other supporting hardware. So what we're gonna do is actually decapitate this 3080 rig right here, because 3080s, 10 gigabytes of VRAM haven't really been doing that great in terms of AI. There was a while it was making good money on Salad, but since then hasn't really been doing too much. And so this has a 5900X. It has 48 gigs of RAM right now with 2 mismatched kits. We're going to be removing the 16 gigabyte red kit and applying this 64 gigabyte kit, so that will make it 96 gigs. With a 4090 and a 5900X will be a very good matched board. So what I'm going to do is pull that motherboard just straight up out of that case and apply it to that frame so we can get the nice full build right here. And for those who are curious, with a mix of OctaSpace and Salad, basically every single GPU is rented right now besides maybe my 3070. And they're all on low power jobs. You can just see the fans starting and stopping throughout me filming this, which has me actually a bit concerned. Do you guys think I should just be setting a static fan in Afterburner, just setting it to like 40% or something like that instead of them starting and stopping over and over again? Let me know what you think about that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start pulling apart this rig. We'll pull this off the shelf up there and get this on there and make sure everything works. So a little later in this video, I'm gonna walk you guys through how I've been getting these deals, and also how I even know that it's a good deal. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of my site, GPU Deals. I'm gonna show you, it's gpudeals.net. I'm gonna show you how to kind of check and see, is 1300 actually a good deal for a 4090, or is it just okay? That's the sort of thing that I'm always checking before I'm going to pick up cards like this, especially if I'm going to be driving and wasting a lot of time in the car. So this was going to be like a mobile test bench, but the only problem is this inverter was only 400 watts. It's obviously not going to work on a 4090, and this power supply is only 500. So we'll go ahead and just remove this. This is an old mining motherboard as well. We need to remove this from this frame because this is the frame that will eventually put that 3080 motherboard on. Now, I mentioned this PSU briefly the other day, but this is a pretty dang good deal on Amazon. Not only is it 1,000 watt for under $100, it's gold rated, and it's got the little 12 volt power connector that can go directly into the 4090, so I don't actually need to use this, which is very nice. Unfortunately, I'm going to unscrew all these screws, and I'm probably going to have to remove all the standoffs around. But actually, that is a full ATX motherboard as well, so it might actually end up being fine. I've been building with so many micro ATX boards, or mini ATX, I don't know which one, that the standoffs normally don't match, but this board will actually be a pretty good match. And I really, honestly, didn't even need to buy that power supply because that PC itself has an 850 in it, I think, maybe even 1,000. But it'll be all right because I still have one 3070 on that shelf that I'm gonna want to switch out for a 3090 or 4090 whenever I find another good deal. And that will certainly be my last GPU for a while. If anything, because of the network usage. My wife has complained about the internet speed over the last few days. I made a few changes, but I'm pretty sure it's from all the AI traffic, which I do have 1,000 up and down, but I definitely am starting to notice when everything is rented that it can be a little slower, which is definitely annoying. Like, I don't want to sacrifice my internet speeds for AI, that's for sure. Okay, not too bad. And let me know, guys, I'm curious, are you building or actively building AI rigs right now? And if you are you putting them on Salad? Are you putting them on Octa? Maybe some of the other platforms? Which ones are you guys liking best? I certainly wish that Salad was on Linux, because right now I'm basically kind of shoehorned myself into using Windows only. But it certainly would be nice if like Salad came out to Linux and I could move all these over to like HiveOS or something like that. But right now I'm sticking to Windows, and honestly, OctaSpace and Salad, they're both pretty easy, and I've been enjoying them. Let's go ahead and get this PSU installed on here. Hey, in perfect alignment. I almost never can get that screw in without messing around with it. That's a nice little thing to see. Also, the good thing about the 12 volt power connector is it definitely cleans up the build. It's just going to be 3 cables, I think. The 12 volts, the CPU cable, the motherboard cable, of course, and there it is. Yeah, basically 3 cables, and that's it. As simple as it can get. All right, we'll get these plugged in, and then I think we're basically ready to start taking apart that 3080 rig. And as far as that 3080, I think I'm probably going to sell it. A couple months ago, I would have said that I'm going to keep it to eventually build into like a gaming rig or something. But now that I've got a shitload of 3090s, I don't really need to keep a 3080 for a gaming rig in the future. The 3090s are going to do just fine for that. Last cable here. These cables also, I mean, are pretty nice quality. They have like a little bit of a braid to them. Let's see here. I'm guessing the orange side goes with the orange port on the power supply. So there we go. Might be a bit hard to get this case out of here. It's a very tight fit. I'm probably going to put it back in, even though it's going to be empty, just to keep the shelf kind of looking full. Man, one thing I'm forgetting about this motherboard is that I think the Ethernet port doesn't work, or maybe I just need to install some drivers. So I've been using this USB to Ethernet, which I will probably continue using. It's not really the end of the world, but something I forgot about. Nice, not too bad. So this is an RM850. Good to see there. I forgot I don't even have a back panel on this, and I got some ants crawling on it. Pros of building in a garage. But let's go ahead and put this down. Man, there's all kinds of dead bugs on here. This is actually the PC case that I built my very first computer in, so it's a little sentimental. One thing of immediate maintenance we need to take care of, look at that fan. Look at that dust bunny that just landed on me. That helped a little bit, maybe if I go from this angle. A little bit better. Much, much better there. We'll hit the GPU too while we're at it. I will make sure to hold these though, just so I'm not generating any current or anything like that. So the plan here will just be to unplug everything from this case. That might have had a button I need to push. And then everything from this power supply, because we'll be using that new one. And then just unscrew the motherboard and lift it straight out if we can. That should be it. SATA cable right here. And there we go, we should be good. I forgot, this rig is using a, what is this, a 1 terabyte SSD. I've got a 1 terabyte NVMe that I could upgrade this to. I'd have to reinstall Windows and everything. Do I want to do that or not? If I'm putting a 4090 on here, I think I need a pretty fast drive. So we're gonna go ahead and save this for another build. And let's put that M.2 drive on here. It's gonna be a little extra work, but I think it'll probably be worth it. And we will go ahead and just remove the GPU off here. It'll be easier. Well, we're taking it off anyway, so of course we're removing it. There we go. Love the look of these EVGA cards. This one's still got the little things on the fan too. I'll pull those off here in a second. All right, let's start unscrewing these standoff screws. And this is a micro ATX board or a mini, I don't know the difference. So I probably do need to move the standoffs on that other frame. All right. Nope. Gotta plug the headers. Beautiful. Just to get this out of the way, let's go ahead and get this back on here. There we go. Surprisingly good on the standoffs. I think we just need to add 1, 2, 3. Because we've got 5 that are lined up correctly. Yeah, we just need to add a couple more over here. Beautiful. Now let's get the screws installed there. Beautiful. And I forgot the drive I have is a Crucial, and this is a pretty dang good one with relatively high speeds. Doesn't say exactly on there, but good option, and I'm happy I'm doing this. That will definitely make this a better build overall. And I think in Octa, they can even see the speed of your main drive, so pretty important there. And I'm missing the standoff here. I do think I just got like a bag of extra ones though. Haha, look at that. I'll have a link to this down below. I just picked this up out of the blue, and perfect. It's got extra standoffs and screws for M.2s. Got time to put the GPU on. So does anyone know Zotac quality? Is it improved with the 40 series? I honestly know nothing about it. This card feels very heavy. If I can get it aligned here. There we go. Oh, it does have, it's got 2 different slots for screws. I'm probably only going to do one. So I only got one readily available. It's always pretty funny putting these monster GPUs on these frames. The thing is massive, but it looks really cool. It's got this like gold look to it. It's gonna look really good up there. Heck, this might be my biggest GPU besides maybe my Gigabyte or maybe my 3070 right here. This thing's a monster. This one's pushing it. Probably most important part here, make sure that you get that nice and tight plug-in right here on your 12 volt power. I'm gonna fold this the best I can so that it's not providing or placing any extra kind of like undue stress on the cable. You definitely don't want that. And you gotta get it really in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna bundle these in a way that again is putting no extra stress there. One thing I forgot to do here is to plug in my other RAM. So I believe these Dominator sticks, man, this is annoying. Oh, I don't need to undo those ones. Are 16 gig, let me confirm. Yeah, 16 gig, so should be able to pull these two out. And DDR4, not a huge deal if you don't have matching kits. Honestly, I would have bought the same, but I do Amazon reviews, so I'm always buying different kits of RAM and stuff. So I had this one on hand. There we go. Not necessarily easy to get it down in there. Okay. Okay, we'll get this up here, get everything plugged in, and then I've got a Windows 11 drive we'll put on here so we can do Octa or Salad, but my plan is to run this on Salad. I won't bore you with that though, so let's just get this plugged in, make sure everything works, and then we'll fast forward to upstairs. I'll talk about why I bought this, what my expected kind of ROI is on it, and why I think it's such a good investment. And then we'll see if we can get a job before this video is done. Here we go. Got it all plugged into the monitor. It's a nice looking card, honestly. Hey, display and booting. Beautiful. And just like that, we have the rig set up and running. Look at that beautiful array of cards. All 3090s and 4090s besides one lonely little 3070 that will be getting replaced soon. Very excited with how this turned out. Basically just been spending the last few months getting my whole farm ready for AI, and it's looking really, really good there. So we will hop in the computer now and let's discuss this 4090 purchase a little bit more.
Okay guys, it's been a few days. I've got some good news and some bad news, and then we'll break down this purchase. So the good news is that my new 4090 picked up a job almost instantaneously and has been holding it for quite a long time. So that would be this new one right here, the brighter pink line. And you can see for the last 24 hours, we've been holding what I like to call a beast job at 26 cents per hour, along with my other 4090. So I have a total of 3, and you'll notice I only have 2 jobs right now. And if we go back to the last 7 days here, you can see that this pink one has done just fine. It's held a job for all of 7 days. And honestly, if we go to 30, you can see this pink one has had a beast job for the past like 15 days. My other 4090 was doing very good as well, and then it dropped off though, but my new one happened to pop right back up when the older one dropped off. So the good news is I've held a beast job on 2 4090s for at least the past month. And for reference, 26 cents per hour, how much profit is that? I've got a spreadsheet here that we'll check. So 4090 down here, revenue max per hour is at 26 cents. And then we go to our profit max per hour would be 25 cents because these jobs are using very low power. I have a little Govee smart meter that I track all of this on, which leads to a profit max of $6 per day. So 2 of those 4090s are making $6 in profit each, so $12 a day. My hope was installing this third one that would have been $18 a day, but I've not been able to hold a job on all 3. But 2 is still pretty good. So let's take a look at why. If we go to the Salad network monitor, you can see this is the lowest and the worst that Salad demand has looked since January. I was on the Discord this morning. There is potentially a huge customer coming up that would rent out basically every GPU and then some. Still, they've been saying that for weeks though, and we haven't gotten any concrete dates. I really hope that happens though, because if it does, we're going to be looking so good. But right now, with this low demand, that explains why only 2 of my 4090s have jobs. So quickly, we'll do the ROI calculation here in a second, but just to show the aggregate here of what I'm making per day, we can see that 13, 13, 14, and then this isn't right. Hold on. I need to include all these cards. This UI, man, is just not good. You can see about $15 to $13 every single day on Salad, and this has basically just been with 2 GPUs. If that third one found a job, it would be closer to 18. But let's talk about this card specifically. So we mentioned that we bought it for $1,300 and that we're getting potentially $6 per day, assuming we have a good job on Salad, which we do right now. And that puts our ROI at 216 days. So well less than a year for this card to pay for itself. And then I have a free GPU that's making free money. But I look at it a little bit different because I'm buying these GPUs at only very good prices. I mentioned it earlier. You only want to buy hardware when you're getting insane deals, and that's why I use my site gpudeals.net. But a $1,300 4090 is an insane deal. I can sell that card for probably $1,600 tomorrow. So in my mind, that GPU is already paid off. It's already a net zero. So at this point, I'm spending $1,300 and I'm just generating $6 a day. And I look at it almost as a stock investment. I bought $1,300 of stock and I'm getting an ROI on that. And so let's see kind of what percentage gain am I getting on my $1,300 investment. So we'll do $6 times 365. I was going to say 365, but since you're not always going to have a job, let's just multiply it by 320. So in a whole year, we should be generating about $1,920 off of this $1,300 investment. And so that already is an ROI of over 100%. So we'll divide that by the cost of the card and then times it by 100. And so basically we're getting a 150% APR on our investment. Now, you guys, if you follow the stock market, the S&P 500, you're going to be getting like 10% on your investment every year. This GPU is making 147%, assuming that you can always sell it back for what you bought it for. So that is why I continue to buy these cards. The only variable here is that if jobs remain available, and unfortunately it is going in the opposite direction of where we want, but I do still have 2 of those very good jobs right now, which I just showed you. And also OctaSpace is a little bit of a shining beacon of hope right now. I've got all of my 3090s on there and all 5 of them are rented out right now. Some of them have been rented for 8 days straight. This is the same one that I used in my previous video. 8 days straight there. And I just actually uploaded the other 4090 onto it this morning. Now the downside here is that this would only be making about 15 cents per hour, not the 26 cents. So it's much less than Salad. And we can kind of get an idea of that because of this revenue per hour, the standard, which leads to a profit of day of $3.13. So assuming we only get OctaSpace jobs, we'll do $3.13 times 320 days per year. It's about $1,000. So we're not going to be over 100%, but we're still going to be making 77% on our investment, even with OctaSpace jobs. So that's pretty good. And it hasn't happened yet, but I really do expect AI workloads to continue to increase. I just don't see a world where they decrease, and hopefully that gets passed along to us kind of consumers at home through platforms like Salad, OctaSpace, Vast, Clore, all of those. We just need more demand, and Salad keeps saying they've got something in the works, so I'm very excited to see what that looks like. But that's the thought process, guys. You need to get good deals on your hardware. That's literally why I made my website. And if you do that, this is a relatively risk-free investment that's going to be pretty profitable, 100% APR, 130% APR. Now, I do want to say this is very speculative. If you do not already have an emergency fund, traditional stock retirement accounts, you need to do those first before you do anything like this. I all the time get people in the comments saying, just put it in the S&P 500, you'll do better.
dude, I've already got that. This is like side hustle, just speculative stuff. Instead of trading options or something, I'm buying GPUs. So that's the way I look at it. Let me know what you guys think. I will leave one video up here and a link again to my site, GPU Deals. I don't mean to harp on it, but it is such a lifesaver when it comes to getting good deals on your hardware. Check it out, guys, and I'll see you next time.